Welcome, Virgo. This is your weekly focus for June the 11th through to the 17th, 2018. My name is Tilly, and this is Carol with Tilly, and thank you. Thank you truly for all of the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. Let's turn to the cards and see what they are going to reveal about the energy that surrounds us and how to use it in a positive light in order to go forward on our path. Six of Pentacles, it's not so much what we get, it's what we give in life that matters. This is about utilizing your gifts, your talents, your abilities to bring joy to people, to groups of people, to your family, to your friends, to your neighborhood, to your work, to your career. Giving isn't always about giving money. We seem to gravitate to that, but there are things that money just can't buy, like love, like a smile, like your time, like your energy. So where can you give this week in your life? Maybe it's just paying it forward. Maybe it's just smiling at somebody. Maybe it's just giving a compliment or holding a door open or helping somebody with a bag, a large load. Maybe it's just being that shoulder. Maybe it's you taking the time to say, I love you. You make a difference in my life. So amazing growth potential can come in. I see nothing but the greens in that card. Ten of Cups. Look at this. Ten of Cups follows that card. This is your happily ever after card. If I were to lay down these two, and this would be your only two cards that I'd be reading, I'd be saying through what you already give to the world, if what you continue to give on a daily basis to the world, will bring in your happily ever after. That those things, even if you don't get the thank you or the reward or the recognition you thought you were going to get, it comes back to you in other ways. It's asking you to keep your heart open, to keep going with the flow. It's about not barricading yourself in by building walls around yourself, but rather to allow healing in your life, or healing of yourself. Forgive yourself for something. You're not the only sign I've said that to. So watch your sun, moon, and rising to find out if this is really strong for you or not. Can't remember what sign though, sorry. What is the happily ever after? What is, the flowers blooming around you, the kids playing? You're united with best friends and lovers and soulmates. That happily ever after, that abundance. And you create that through your giving. Maybe it's a talent or an ability that you've locked away inside of you and you don't really share with the world or even with close loved ones. But by giving of yourself, by utilizing your talents, your abilities, you create the happily ever after. Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, this could be more of a crowd energy, absolutely. Of how you are moving forward or making your stance within a group of people, within a team of people. Uh, it could be a community, it could be family setting. This is you saying, I'm going in this direction. I want this in my life. This is who I want to become. In some form, in some way, in some manner. You're speaking your truth. And it could be to more than one person with this. Uh, Very often, this is displayed as somebody on top of a small hill or a mountain, and other people are surrounded at the bottom. It's like King of the Hill, but I'm not getting that King of the Hill atmosphere. It's more of you standing up and saying, you know, look at the wand you hold too. Okay, it has so much more growth on it than the people that you are addressing. So chances are they are not in touch with their own intuition or their own wisdom as much as you are attached spiritually as much as you are hold the talents or abilities that you have. Work and career, Seven of Cups and the Chariot. Now, this is, I call it work and career, but really it's what defines you, who you are. If I were to meet you, how would you define yourself? Because the majority of people would tell me about their work or career as that persona that they want you to meet, that we want to show to the world. So work, career, but it could be your work in the community. It could be your family. It could be your relationships that you start your conversation with to me. Your spirituality, your health, your well-being. And this is saying that you are really kind of all over the place and you're trying to make everything a lot better in your life. You're trying to push everything a little bit instead of trying to bring in the energy and the focus and the priority of where your focus needs to go. I think you could be all over the place, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you are using too much energy in places where it's not needed. It could be delegated out perhaps, or it's just not something that has to be part of the picture. And so you need to pull back a little bit on the reins when it comes to work and career and really see the possibility of where you can go, of what you could step into. If you took all that energy and focus and just put it in one of those cups instead of all those cups, what you could manifest, what you could, so dream this dream big, okay? And it could be blending those cups together so that your energy isn't split anymore, but it's unified all in one area. Maybe you need somebody to help with all those cups because they're all necessary. So we need the support. But with the chariot is asking you to just pull right back on those reins and really get your focus and really harness the energy of, well, I think this is the new moon. You know, here we have the light and the dark, the moon and the sun, the black and the white. And so often we allow other people's agendas kind of rule over our agendas of what we need to focus on. So be careful about getting caught up in somebody else's drama. This is all about you harnessing that energy, those forces, and bringing them together, bringing things into balance. And so we have a lot of things to look at and how we are going to, well, what we're going to keep going forward and what we have to close a door on. And one of those cups, there's the happily ever after, right? There's our rainbow. Right in there in the center of all of them. So, and the new moon for you would be, it'd be working career. It'd be working career, right? new beginnings, new starts, honing in your abilities and talents into a single direction, a single focus, or blending them together somehow so they work in harmony with each other instead of opposing forces. Wow, you got all those stars. There's 9 fixed stars that are, very, very highlighted during this new moon too. And it calls towards success. I think Trump has a lot of like 1 degree conjunct with a lot of these stars. Like he got to be president of the United States, so by having these stars highlighted in his natal chart. So, and it's right in your work and career. So believe in yourself. Believe that you have the knowledge within you for whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to start an organization or a foundation or set up some kind of new programs in the community. And what would be the dream? What would be the goal? Dream bigger, especially new moon, but this is a super new moon, which means it's closer to the earth, which means that we will receive even more of the energy. So it really has to be a passion of yours, a dream of yours, a desire of yours, in what defines you, in your work, in your career, in what you do in the community. Love and relationships, let's go there. Oh, 5 of Cups, crying over spilt milk, and the 4 of Wands. What beautiful cards, but you're sitting on opposite sides of the seesaw almost here, bouncing up and down. I guess the main message is don't cry over spilt milk. And I don't care if we're talking about a soulmate, a lover, a parent, a child, a best friend, love, relationships, to ourselves. Okay? Maybe allow in some self-healing. Look yourself in the eye and say, I forgive you, I love you, and I forgive you. And move forward with wisdom. 5 of Cups is allowing arguments to be so petty that would they matter in 5 years? If they forget to take out the garbage, will it matter in 5 years? Or could you maybe just take out the garbage once and then make mention that you got it already? Don't worry about it, if you even need to go that far to carry that energy into a sentence. Just do it and be done with that. That's what you would have done when you first met. You'd be tripping over each other trying to get the garbage out for each other. Let me do that for you, honey. A couple years down the road, man, you didn't take the garbage out. Will it matter in 5 years? Well, if it happens for the continuous 5 years, yeah, it will matter a lot. But if it's a once-off, let's not get upset about it. Let's not, um, it's allowing the emotion to rule over logic. So it's taking it back to the foundation of the relationship and saying these are the important parts of this relationship and how can I build on them and how can I grow them and how can we do that together. And maybe this is even a group of people that you love being with. So, because we are a group of people here, and this is the marriage card, this is the proposal card. This is deepening the relationships, deepening the commitments. And we can't possibly do that if we're nitpicking over all the little tiny details. What's important, what matters. When we put our focus, when we put our energy or attention onto that, it becomes beautiful in our life. It becomes spiritual, it becomes magical. Because we're growing strong, sustainable futures with these people. And they're going to support us, and we're going to support them, and we're going to love them, and they're going to love us. because we concentrate on what matters, expressing our love to each other. Spirituality. Nine of Swords. You're not the only one to get this. Wow. Last week was a lot about that self-doubt, right? Erasing that self-doubt. I think there's a little bit more work here to do for you. I don't even think that's the message I gave the last time I held this card, which is a couple of signs ago. I'm sure of it. For you, it's stop beating yourself up over things that you can't change or it doesn't matter. Or even if you want to do that, you couldn't do that. It's about not believing in yourself enough to take that leap of faith, that calculated risk. Because you have a lot of strong cards here to move you into a beautiful direction in your life. But self-doubt, that ego steps in. Now remember the ego, okay? First of all, when we tell ourselves something, our brain can't distinguish if that is fact or fiction, okay? But the more the brain hears it and thinks it, the more it gets etched into stone. So when we say we're clumsy, you don't have to do anything to say that about yourself, but you will become clumsier. You will be inviting that energy in because your brain thinks that that is normal, that that is expected in our lives. And in order for us to feel the balance, we've got to remain clumsy because we're clumsy, we're clumsy, we're clumsy. We don't want to be clumsy, so stop saying it about yourself. Start saying the reality of what you want to step into. Don't allow yesterday to impede on your tomorrow. Forgive yourself for something. If you want to do a meditation or anything, you know what? I'd get into the bathroom and I'd light some candles and I'd get some beautiful incense in the room or just a beautiful smell. And I'd have enough candles that I could see myself in the mirror or maybe a dimmed light. And I would look into my eyes and I would say, I love you. And I forgive you for every action in the past. There is nothing I'm taking forward. I love you with all my heart. I support you, your actions, your words, your dreams, your capabilities for your tomorrow. I know you have the talent inside of you. And we're going to do this. We've thought about it, and we're going to do this because I believe in you. And say your name. I believe in you, Tilly. And just do some sort of conversation with yourself about where you want to go, the things you want to see, the difference you want to make. And don't let that self-doubt get in there because that's what happens is the ego takes over based on the knowledge of the brain. The knowledge of the brain says, I'm clumsy. The ego is going to go, okay, well, we better trip here soon because we haven't tripped in a while and we're clumsy and we got to stay on target. We got to stay in exactly where we are because there's an expectation. And we can say that for so many things in our lives. And trust me, our egos will talk to us to keep us in our place, even though we're trying to break free of it through it. Health and well-being. Two of Pentacles. Well, you know what? I thought right away of the Seven of Cups. You're juggling too much. You're trying to keep everything into balance. There's got to be some kind of give or take here. First card, giving. What are you giving? Maybe you're giving too much. I'd have to say that is a possibility with some of the cards that you've gotten out here that I think it leans more the other way, but I think it brings in the abundance, especially with the Ten of Cups following it, but still it is our first cup. If we had to base everything on that first card and that alone, Some of these cards make me think that you have way too much on your plate, way too many obligations, way too many commitments that do not take you forward on your path, but dissipate your energy, that pull you down, that wears you out. And so you need to prioritize. Back to the Seven of Cups. You need to prioritize where you are going to put your energy in order to really step into an abundance, into a happiness, into a balance, into a true joy that is just present. It's not recognized as a new emotion. It is the emotion. So this is bringing in balance into your life. Make sure that you're eating properly, that it's a balanced diet. Everything in moderation is good, but boy, oh boy, you go to the extremes and you're out of balance. How's your sleeping patterns? How's your exercise program working out for you? When are you fitting that in? Is it on top of everything else? Are you putting you first or last? Where do you need to be in the equation of everything? So really think about your balance and bringing things into balance in your life in order to have good health, good well-being. Remember, stress plays, it's mean to humans. Stress can be downright cruel to our bodies, to our thought process. So eliminate the stresses. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.